when there's a voices tell you this is too difficult, too early, too risky, basically don't do it. And what did you learn from that kind of environment, also voices, and push through the moment where you can find your own way?
I have an obvious answer to this. I spent the majority of my career at Johns Hopkins. Where I discovered these biomarkers was at Johns Hopkins with a colleague. And about 5 years ago, I realized that these biomarkers were replicating and that I needed to actually concentrate on developing my research into a product that can go to market so that we can change standard of care. I went to my chair. I was doing a lot of clinical work. I was attending an inpatient psychiatric service having to do with chronic pain 2 months out of the year. I was running the largest clinic in the department. And I said, hey, I'd like to concentrate on my research. I don't think I need to be doing as much clinical work as I'm doing. And he said, sorry, it's tradition at Johns Hopkins that you're going to run an inpatient service 2 months out of the year, and we don't want you to cut back on your clinical work at all. You have interesting research, but we really want you to keep doing what you're doing. And shortly thereafter, a job application came across my desk to be vice chair of research in the Department of Psychiatry at UVA. So I applied, got the job, which surprised me, and I moved to Charlottesville. And since then, I've obtained 8 federal grants from the Department of Defense and NIMH to develop my research and to make a difference in psychiatry. It was the best decision I ever made. Was this environment was not supporting me or my goals anymore. And so I changed the environment and found a chair who believed in me and supported me in doing my research. And I am so thankful that I did that. And I will tell you that that chair was a woman. And so it was a very good move.
It's a fantastic story. Yeah, that's really excellent. I think that really, as a moment, you need to have a courage to tell you need to go forward, you need to try that. So hearing that, Mariam, do you have anything to add on that?
Oh, sure. Insanity is all you need. That's my answer. No, I'll honest with you. Like, you need to be crazy enough to go, first of all, in the healthcare and start building startup and a mental healthcare. And then you need to be insane enough to be a woman and start doing it. The thing is, I'll explain, there is like several layers that we need to overcome to be at the same level as men. That's reality. At the first meeting, you don't have immediate impressions like, oh, she's a founder. No, they look, oh, she's a woman. She's pretty. She's good, looking good. And they're not taking you seriously. So compared to men, you have to spend a lot of time showing yourself as a professional and building this ground. And only from that, you need to start working at other guys. I'll give you examples, and it's coming not only from men, from women as well. I'm coming to a meeting at a private equity, very fancy one, very famous one. We're sitting around it like we're coming into the office, me and my co-founder, who is male. Everyone coming to him and shaking his hands. No one comes to me. We're sitting at the table, and they looking at Ivan and saying like, okay, Ivan, tell us about your company. And Ivan like a little bit confused because we sent the deck prior to that. He turns to me and saying like, it's Miriam's company. Miriam, go ahead. And I'm like, hi, I'm Miriam, CEO and co-founder of Brainify. And the woman at the table, oh, you. I was like, yeah, me. So that's a reality. And we need always to spend some time. So when we start talking, people not taking us seriously, or they have different expectations. Do they have these expectations we need to fight for? Second barrier is that we don't have a club. Boys have a boys club. They have relationship, they help each other, they connect each other, they gather with each other, they talk with each other, they have huge support system. We women failed a little bit on building this club for us. And that's what Margaret and I trying to do right now at Davos and World Economic Forum, build this club to support other women, to connect other women, to help them grow. And that's exactly what we need. We need not to compete, we need to start supporting each other. And it's very complicated, it will take a lot of time to do that. But yeah, there's things that we need: women's club, work for the stigma, and be insane.
That's fantastic. Women need to support women. And I think Margaret already did a lot for that, to support a women's society. And for Alex, I think you probably want to build a little more for your story because you already heard a lot of those kind of voices.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm actually going to go into a slightly different direction. It's opportunity. It's true that women are not often or always heard, but we're not the only ones. And if you consider all the people who are not heard enough because they're not born in the right place at the right moment, not the right gender and the right education, whatever. You have a lot of talented people here, and it is a pool for innovation, for breakthrough innovation. And when you know that, you can reach out to these people and you can like build fantastic things because there are no competition. And that's actually the story of the company. I mean, the co-founder, Dina, she was a woman. She was like not born in the right place, definitely not in the right country. I mean, like a small lab in France, we've been told like, how is it that you succeeded where Harvard did not? Said, well, that it just happened. And so I think in the end, it's a fantastic power because there is this pool of innovation that we can tap in if we know how to do it. And I think all of us, that's what we did here.